My daughter was fighting for her life in the ICU when my father called and told me something that made me realize I meant absolutely nothing to him. Tomorrow is Ryan's birthday. Be here. Not, how's Emma? Not, is she okay? Just be here. I was sitting outside the intensive care unit staring at a vending machine I hadn't used in 3 days. My daughter Emma had been unconscious since she was admitted. 3 days of doctors speaking carefully. 3 days of signing paperwork. 3 days of paying hospital bills without even thinking about the cost because nothing mattered except my little girl surviving. Then my phone rang. Dad. For a moment, I thought maybe he was finally calling about Emma. I answered immediately. How's she doing? He asked. Relief hit me. Then it disappeared. Anyway, tomorrow's your brother Ryan's birthday. Your mother needs help getting everything ready. I thought I'd heard him wrong. Dad, Emma is in intensive care. I know. I waited. Surely there was more. There wasn't. You can leave for a few hours. I stared at the wall. She's fighting for her life. Your brother only turns 30 once. Something inside me snapped. Growing up, everything revolved around Ryan. We shared the same father but different mothers. Ryan was the son Dad wanted. I was the reminder of the life he left behind. Years ago, an elderly uncle told me something that changed how I saw my childhood. When I was very young, my mother became seriously ill. The illness was frighteningly similar to what Emma was battling now. She spent weeks in hospitals. According to my uncle, Dad rarely showed up. He was already building his new life with Ryan's mother. I was too young to remember, but my mother died. And for years, nobody told me the full story. Sitting outside Emma's ICU room, I couldn't stop thinking about it. History was standing in front of me again. Only this time, I had a choice, and I wasn't going to make my father's mistake. Dad, I said quietly, I'm not leaving my daughter. His voice instantly turned cold. Then don't expect anything from this family anymore. I frowned. What does that mean? It means you're out of the will, out of everything. I actually laughed. I was 42 years old, married, owned a home, hadn't needed his money in years. Yet he still thought inheritance could control me. My daughter comes first, then live with the consequences. He hung up. For the first time in my life, I didn't call back. I blocked his number, then my mother's. The next day was Ryan's birthday. Photos flooded social media. A huge party, expensive decorations, smiling faces. Not one message asking about Emma, not one. Late that afternoon, I was sitting beside her bed when her fingers moved. Then her eyes slowly opened. Doctors rushed in. Nurses followed. Hope filled the room. Hours later, when things calmed down, Emma looked at me. Dad, I squeezed her hand. I'm here. She swallowed. What about Grandpa? I froze. What about him? She looked away. I heard him. My heart sank. She'd been partially conscious during the phone call. Not fully awake, but awake enough. He sounded angry. I nodded. He was. Emma was quiet for a moment. Then she whispered something I'll never forget. I'm glad you stayed. A month later, she came home. Healthy. Recovering. Smiling again. Then relatives started calling. Everyone defended Dad. Everyone defended Ryan. Nobody defended Emma. Then I learned Dad had updated his estate plans. Suddenly his threat made sense. A few weeks later, official documents arrived. I had been removed completely. Everything would go to Ryan. There was a handwritten note inside. Actions have consequences. I smiled. Not because it didn't hurt, because it proved nothing had changed. Ryan was still the favorite. So I signed the paperwork and mailed it back. No arguments. No begging. Then I legally withdrew from a business arrangement that had benefited Dad for years. Everything was documented. Everything was legal. Within months, several financial advantages disappeared. Important clients followed me instead. Suddenly Dad needed the son he threw away. Calls started coming from unknown numbers. Blocked. Letters arrived. Ignored. Then on Thanksgiving, while my family sat in a peaceful cabin by a lake, my phone buzzed. One message, 3 words. We need you. Emma was sitting beside the water, healthy and laughing. I looked at the screen, then deleted the message. Because when my father forced me to choose between my daughter and my inheritance, I chose my daughter. And unlike him, I never regretted it.